Hey everyone, this is Chetna and welcome to ChetChat. Today we have a unique show because we have a motivational speaker with us, Ramgopal Vallath. Ramgopal, or Ramji as we call him, has a story that will inspire each one of you. The kind of challenges and problems that he's overcome to reach where he is today, and he's probably the most positive person that I ever met. So you want to hear his story and you want to get inspired by him. So let me quickly introduce you to Ramji. So Ramji, you've written some fabulous books which have done exceedingly well. So tell us, did you always want to be an author to start with?
Actually, I never thought I would become an author.
Okay.
I used to dabble a little bit in terms of poetry and short stories when I was a kid. But I never thought I would become an author, that too in English language. Because I studied in a Malayalam medium school.
Really?
Yeah, it was a small village government school. Pass percentage was about 30-40%.
Okay.
And I had never spoken in English in my life till I actually got into my engineering.
Wow.
So, yeah. so to write an English book, I thought was never going to happen.
Yeah.
I used to read quite a bit, and that really helped me get better at the language.
So self-motivated, or was it the home environment?
Home environment was fantastic, So my parents used to encourage us to read a lot. So I started reading Shakespeare when I was in the 9th grade.
Wow.
But it was very difficult to understand, honestly.
Yes, it is even for native English speakers.
Absolutely. So I had a very good grasp of English, but I could not even speak one sentence in English at that time.
Unbelievable. So talking about this rural school with a 30% pass percentage, and then you went on to IIT. So how did all that happen?
I actually think because I studied in this rural school, it helped me get into IIT faster or with a better rank. Primarily because you're completely on your own in a place like that. You have nobody to compare yourself with. There is no classmate who is anywhere near that standard to get into IIT, let alone an engineering college. So you have to do all the problem solving yourself. And the only prop I had, my dad was very strictly against tuition. Right. So I could just get some correspondence courses, some problems which used to come once a month, and I would try and crack them. So I would spend about 5-6 days to solve one problem. So it was always, I had to do it myself. So your brain actually becomes very accustomed to looking for solutions. And I think that helped me not only getting into IIT, but through my entire life.
Yeah, but it talks a lot about setting goals, because a lot of us, if we were stuck in a sort of very simple environment, we only look 2 steps ahead and say, if I can get just there, I'll be fine. But setting your sights on IIT must have been like a huge leap.
Yeah, so I think I've found, at least in life after that, many times, that if you have a purpose which you have set for yourself, you have a purpose in life, and then you drive like a madman after that, life becomes so amazing, You really enjoy life when you do that. So when I was focusing on studying for IIT, I was on a high. I was like an athlete who was on his own and hitting sixers every second ball kind of a thing. That was the kind of feeling I had. I think it really helped that I was in that kind of a place and I didn't have any support, doing everything on my own.
Right.
And driving for that purpose. I think that really helped.
Wow. So Ramji, having gone to the premier institution in the country, IIT, did you envisage a corporate career for yourself after that?
Yeah, so I wanted to be a great engineer. That was my plan when I got into IIT. Pretty soon, somewhere I lost my way. So that purpose which was driving me till then, I just lost the purpose. Just lost my focus completely. And so I ended up doing a 5-year course in IIT instead of a 4-year course, having flunked 1 year out. So then I couldn't become an engineer anymore because I had zero fundas in engineering.
Okay.
So I decided to become a manager and got into my MBA course.
That must not have been easy either.
Not at all, but it was, by the time I had decided that I can't completely let go, I need to be a little more focused. And so in the MBA course, at least I managed to do a little more in a focused fashion and complete it without too much of a problem.
Okay. Now having done and you went to a great institution like XLRI, tell me after that, where did you set your sights?
Again, I think it took me a couple of years to get focused in life. The first 1 year as a management trainee, I thought the whole idea of a management traineeship was to have fun. So I guess I must have hit every pub in the city, and but then suddenly, somewhere, something toggled in my brain, and I started getting highly focused.
Okay.
And I think it was a stint in sales where you had a target to go after, which really helped me refocus my life.
Okay.
And then I became incredibly focused. I wanted to be, the first purpose in life at that time was to be as rich as possible, as young as possible.
Okay, wow.
So I really went after that. And I think I was on track. I did very well in my corporate career. At 34, I was a CEO in the telecom industry, which is by far the youngest guy around.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and I thought I had arrived in life,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And I set my goal saying that by 45, I want to be the global CEO of a Fortune 500 company.
Seemed like it was.
Right? Yeah, I mean, so 10 years I have reached there, another 11 years reaching there, cakewalk. So that was my plan. And of course, God threw a googly. So
Okay.
and or a curved ball, as we call it nowadays. And life just got derailed, and I had to refocus and re-engineer and reinvent my life altogether.
So tell us about this googly that God threw at you.
So when I was 34, I started noticing a strange kind of problem physically. Every time I tried to pick up a pen or a spoon or a fork or anything in my hand would tremble a little bit.
Okay.
And every time I tried to climb down steps, it felt as if it was about to fall forward. And I had no idea what it was. Kept trying to find solutions for it. You remember I said every problem has a solution. That is my approach in life. So I used to exercise intensely, going to the gym 2 hours a day, thinking that it would improve my health. But it just kept going downwards. And it took about 7 years for us to diagnose the problem. It was an autoimmune disorder called CIDP.
Okay.
So my immune system, the stupid idiots, were attacking my own body, instead of attacking the germs which are coming into the body. So as a result, my nerves on both my hands and legs were being attacked continuously by my immune system. And the muscles then over a period of time were wasting away. So it was one problem after the other compounded. And by the time I was 40, I could barely walk. I couldn't pick up stuff with my hands. Couldn't button up my shirt. Couldn't type on the laptop. And I used to trip and fall at very regular intervals. Life had completely turned around.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what happened?
So, this grand plan of becoming global CEO of a Fortune 500 company became grand plan of being able to walk 2 steps. The only thing that kept me going at the time was I had this great sense of humor. I would always try to find a humor in a situation. Every time I would walk into a room, I wanted the room to feel a little more positive because I was there. And my family was in incredible support. So, and I kept seeking solutions rather than sitting and thinking, why did this happen to me?
Right.
And I found a solution. I went for a treatment, which is a clinical trial in the US, and it worked. So my condition got reversed about 90%. I came back, I started working out 3 hours a day, trying to build back every muscle in my body, and recovered substantial amount of that. And today, my life is a completely changed life.
Wow, and all this because you decided that I will find the solution to the problem and not look at it as a life-changing event.
Absolutely. So I think the one thing I figured out is that when you seek solutions in life, rather than worrying about why did this happen to me, you're far more positive and you're seeking solutions.
Right.
You can stumble upon some solution or other instead of sitting there and crying.
Yeah.
And that really helped.
Wow, and when did the best-selling author come out of all of this?
So my first book was written starting from the bed in Chicago, the hospital bed in Chicago.
Oh, while you were going through.
Absolutely. No, I think the chemotherapy sort of helped in making my brain a little wacky. So my first book, so let me start. My first book.
Okay.
This is called Oops the Mighty Gurgle. This is a completely wacky science fiction, So this is like, it is a sort of combination of Isaac Asimov and P.G. Wodehouse.
Okay.
So it's a very humorous book, but it's a science fiction book, and it became a bestseller for kids. Okay. I never intended it to be for kids because for me this book is appropriate for everybody from 9 to 99. Right? Anybody can read it and enjoy, have a phenomenal laugh at it. So that is my first book, and it did well.
And then you got inspired to write another book.
So the second book was more of a It was prompted by the fact that I started being invited to corporates to deliver my talk.
Okay.
And it started as a keynote speech in one corporate because I had become an author. And the moment you become an author, people think you can talk very well. So it's great. So I was called for that, and I gave a nice extempore speech, which is about an hour, and people really liked it, and they rated it the best event of the evening.
Wow.
So then my life transformed after that because I had a new purpose in life, which is to touch 1 million lives positively. Then the most important thing was to actually write about the journey that I went through, how every one of these downturns in life has actually helped me get to the next level.
Right.
And so the second book was, from ouch to oops.
Oops, okay.
Why ouch to oops? Because when I was going through a very ouch moment in my life, I wrote the book called Oops the Mighty Gurgle.
Right.
So, and this became an instant bestseller. It just got launched in Marathi, and I hope it will get translated into other Indian languages.
But tell us, for people watching the show, and some of them probably grappling with problems, some maybe smaller problems, some different problems, what would you say to them when they are bang in the middle of that and they are consumed by it? What would be your advice to them?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is it's very difficult to do, but it is the single biggest change you can make at that point in time is to focus your mind not on the problem, but on seeking solutions. And accept the problem first, because most people refuse to accept the problem. And then they keep trying to figure out, why did this happen? Why did this happen? It doesn't help at all.
Right.
All you have to think of is, how do I now make the best of this moment? Accept the moment, live in the moment, and focus on solutions. The second biggest thing is to be happy. Now, how do you be happy in a situation like that?
Right.
There are two things. One is, try and help as many people as you can in your current situation. The more you try to help others, the more your brain becomes positive and happy. And also keep thanking all those people around you who are actually helping you out, rather than looking at those things which are not helping you out.
Right.
The moment you become grateful and you become kind, that releases so much of positivity in your brain. For me, one of the important things has been humor. Humor helps, obviously, in any situation.
Right. So these could be the biggest spiritual lessons, be in the moment, grateful, acceptance.
Absolutely.
Service.
Yes. It's very funny that I never thought I would become spiritual in life. I used to be very spiritual, I used to drink a lot of nice alcohol. But that is only spirits I used to have. Now, I've actually become spiritual without knowing it. And I'm not a person who's religious, majorly religious. I believe that God is actually love. The more you love your fellow human beings, the more you believe in God. But I've realized that making yourself a better person is through the same route. That you be kind, you love people, you be grateful for what you have, you focus not on the problem but on the solution, and have a purpose in life which drives you. You can really, really become a completely different person.
Ramji, I love this bit about, looking at solutions and being positive. But tell me, you've been through so much. Were there moments of despair? Were there moments when you, looked at the dark side and said, why does this have to happen? What could have been instead?
Absolutely, there were. There were moments like that. And they are very, very, very difficult to handle. So the 0.1 or 1% of the time that I get into that, let my mind wander into that place, it becomes incredibly difficult. Because then all these thoughts come in, why did this happen to me? And I think of my family, my poor wife, who had to shoulder this entire burden on her shoulders, taking care of the kids, taking care of the family, taking care of me, going through such a difficult time. So why did I have to put this burden on her head? What is going to happen to me? How long will I live? All those things keep rushing into my mind, my brain. And then it becomes very uncontrollable. That downward spiral is very, very fast. And it's very, very, very vicious. I remember once when I was sitting in a flight and just some thought triggered this and it went into that and I started crying in the flight.
Oh my God.
And so I brutally keep my mind away from that. And how do you do that? You immediately think of something that you are grateful for in life. And you think of something that you are going to do which is going to be positive. So these are the two things which really keep you back on track.
Right.
As I said, it's a purpose in life that you have milestones to achieve. You focus on that, immediately, your brain becomes a lot happier and calmer, and then you just block this out. So blocking out ruthlessly, getting your mind to focus on this is the key. But the most important thing is that the more you do that, the more your brain gets hardwired towards positivity.
Okay.
So the initial stages, it may take a little longer to do that, but as time progresses, you become phenomenally good at it.
Wow, I love what you're saying, and I'm sure all of them would want to
I'm
practice
sure,
this.
anybody can become positive. Your brain is the most plastic thing in the universe, I would say, You can actually train it to become anything that you want. So you can train your brain to be positive. You have to keep hardwiring that part all the time.
Right. So instead of focusing on the external goals, if we just focus on this one thing, the rest will take care of itself.
Yes. What you focus on in your brain will get hardwired. And if it is positivity that you're focusing on, that will get hardwired.
Wow. So tell us, Ramji, what next? What are your goals and what is your purpose now going forward?
So the focus currently is to touch 1 million lives positively.
Right.
So there are 2-3 routes I have taken for that. One is writing books. And there are 2 more books in the pipeline. The other one is I love science. So I deliver science workshops to school children, and I do a lot of that, and I've done about 50 schools. I am the editor of a nice science magazine which we have launched, and I consult with Azim Premji University. I was lucky to be the founding member of that, and also the editor. So we have brought out about 4 issues. This is a magazine called I Wonder for school teachers and helping them deliver science better in the classroom. And recently, last year actually, Macmillan has published my story as one of the chapters in their 8th grade textbook.
Awesome.
So my target needs to be reset, 1 million lives touched is now pretty easy. So I need to go for a 10 million lives or something like that.
Absolutely. I'm sure all of you watching this show are going to pass it on to your friends, and 1 million probably is going to happen.
So I feel so awesome. I have these 8th grade kids, 9th grade kids who should not be on Facebook, but who keep reaching out to me on Facebook. And it's so nice.
Yeah.
So, and there are some of them who then ask, my mother has got this health issue, can you help out and things like that. And I get on an average about 10 to 15 people reaching out to me every week.
Wow.
For various health issues. And I at least can give them a shoulder to cry on.
Right.
If not, give some suggestions, etc. from all the experiments I've done upon myself. I've also managed to help a hospital in Delhi bring the same treatment which is done in US to India. These are all the ways I can give back to the society and very selfishly make myself feel much more positive.
Much more positive. That's not selfish at all. So thank you so much for sharing this with us, Ram.
Thank you.
It was absolutely an honor.
Thank you, Chaitra.
And I'm sure there'll be 1 million people out there who'll want to watch and share and benefit from your story.
Thank you so much, and I'm very grateful to you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks for watching till the end, and I'm sure you're feeling very motivated. So if you have any questions, suggestions on what we should feature for you next, questions that you want Ramji to answer for you, or you want me to answer something, put everything down in the comment section and we'll get back to you really quickly. And don't forget to press that little red button and subscribe to the channel. And happy watching!